Hello, and thanks for your purchase of your SONIC SABER. We're going to go over a few detailed recommendations that we highly suggest and recommend to do with your new SONIC SABER. We're going to get right down to, first and foremost, is going to be your battery charging.
So this is the included charger that is provided to you. It is a 48 volt battery charger. It charges to a 54.6 maximum, so that is the highest voltage that you can see on your display. We recommend that you charge the battery first by plugging in the charger into the battery. And this is your charge port down low here on the battery. And down here is a little notch that you can grab with your fingernail and flip this up. This is recommended to stay sealed at all times to keep water and dirt from the charge port. But always start your charging by plugging the charger in first to the battery and then the charger into the wall.
Yeah, never plug this in hot. You'll always want to plug this in and then plug the charger into the wall.
And make sure that you are using the ground. It helps. There's a lot of static and other things that affect this. So that's the first step. Secondly,
we'll go ahead and close this up here.
Okay. We don't recommend keeping the keys in the bike at all times. The key is only there to lock the battery in place. But our biggest recommendation though is to, first of all, before you ride, make sure that it is locked and that the battery is firmly in place. With an integrated battery, it may make noise every once in a while on a really rough road. That's typical. But don't leave your keys in here, because if they get hit, you can break the key off in the lock. So protect these, make sure you don't lose them. You may need them if there's ever service on the bike.
And we're going to pull the battery out real quick, just to kind of show you how the battery gets taken in and out. And then one important thing, when you put the battery back in, you're going to want to make sure it's in there secured. So there we go.
So we kind of lift up and roll it off to the side there. So this is the port that gives the system its charge. So these are the contact points there. The worst case scenario, after a year or so, these are spring-loaded terminals here. You may have to take a pick and tighten them up a little bit. That's the worst case. We've only seen that on a few bikes a couple years ago. No big deal.
It's real easy to put back in. Just put this back in first. Make sure you get a nice firm closing down on it.
Yeah, I was pretty weak on that, but you can always do this and make sure that it's nice and firm. You know, lift up on it, move it, and then make sure that you relock it.
All right, we're going to move right on to the display here. Now, we've already done a video on the display. However, that was pre-integrated front headlight.
So our bikes are super simple to operate. There's 4 buttons. These 2 buttons here, your plus and your minus, are important. And you got 2 buttons underneath. The one on the right is your power button. Hold it on until you feel the bike vibrate. You get our nice, cool little display kicking on. Always take a look here and verify what your charge is. We'd like to see these at 54.6. That's your maximum performance. You know, why not always have maximum performance at your fingertips? So from there, these are the 2 buttons that you really need to focus on. It always comes on as level 1. If you want to turn your headlight on, hold down the plus button. About 3 seconds, you get your headlight. You'll notice that there is a icon that comes on, and it indicates that your headlight's on. To shut it off, do exactly the same thing again. Hold it down for 2 or 3 seconds, and it shuts off. Additionally, this lower icon, if you have your brake on, it lights up. It just tells you that the brakes are on. Now, another cool feature with the bike is if you're in a crowd or you're trying to walk somewhere, you need a little assistance. If you hold down the minus button, it does what's called walking mode. And it gives just a little bit of power so that you can move with the bike, and it does it at a real slow speed.
So let's say you're walking across the beach or something, really thick sand or wherever you might be, you can actually just hold down the minus button. That'll actually turn the motor on a little bit without pedaling and or using the throttle. We've got a rear tail light back here. It's a billet cased house. It runs on a 2032 watch battery.
So to turn it on, just hit the red part of the lens. That is the button. It goes into a solid mode, a flashing mode, and then the last button push turns it off.
We highly recommend to run this at a flash mode day and night for visibility.
Yeah, you can't be too safe anymore with the drivers on the road, so always be visible. Wear good clothing and everything there.
Yeah.
All right, so with the tires, we're running the Speedster tires, and these tires, we recommend to run them at 30 PSI. If you're off-road, loose conditions, you can drop a little bit of the pressure down, but generally we're somewhere between 20 and 30. If you're a heavier rider, opt for a higher pressure. You can use tire shine on the sides, but try to keep it off of the center. It keeps them nice looking and everything.
Yeah, definitely keep the tire, whatever you want, cleaner off the tread itself. It'll get a little bit slick there.
Okay. You can customize and find out what tire pressure works best for you. Now, there's other assembly videos on our website, but with this stem, it is a true billet aluminum stem. So when you get these bolts into the front of here, be kind of careful because the aluminum is softer than a cast stem. So we use a small torque wrench in inch pounds to about 9 or 10 inch pounds to tighten the front cap of the stem on to make sure that the stem and the bars stay tight. But it's always recommended with any bike on a regular basis, usually once or twice a month, check all the nuts and bolts and make sure that the bike's in proper working order.
We also have a lockout suspension, so don't really ever need to lock it out, but if you need be, it's just one click over. Maybe if you're strapping the bikes down for a long trip in the back of your truck or something, but usually just always leave that unlocked. There is a little dampening adjustment here. No need to really touch that. That's actually kind of preset right where it needs to be.
And then with the chain is pre-coated with a waxy substance on there. We recommend using something like White Lightning, which is a wax-based lubricant that evaporates and leaves a film on the chain. So we do that in Arizona where it's dry. We put it on about once a month. Wetter climates, you can use other types of lubricants if you wish. It's really up to you what your best experience is. We do have a video on our site about how to adjust the derailleur. Also, the instructions are within the manual that was provided with your bike. It shows you step by step how to adjust the derailleur. As with all the other adjustments on the bike, it's in your manual. Please read it. It has some good information, good tips about how to maintain your bike and keep it in good working order.
And on the final note here is invest in a good premium lock. We've got the Avis 5700Ls, the new ones that just came out. They will mount actually right behind here. I think we'll get one dialed in. I think one of the bikes here has one on here. We got one here. This lock's made in Germany, nitrogen proof, stronger than a U-lock. These will actually mount right back here. It's super clean looking. Works well.
And they have an integrated strap mechanism and holster to hold it onto the bike so you don't have to buy extra apparatus. It goes right back here and it's with you at all times.
And then cleaning wise, you could use some Windex. I'll just basically Windex, glaze the entire bike and then actually wipe it down. From there, that's pretty much going to be about it. Cleaning wise, tire pressure, battery charging, operation of the front headlight on here. We do have some additional videos for some other stuff, and the rear light back here, like I say, run this day and night. I usually just leave it on flash. Oh yeah, how can we forget about the integrated bottle opener? So in case you need a cold one on the road, there you go. Oh, another note here is when you're assembling, if you can get just a little bit of grease on your seat post, as well as your pedal here on your threads here. And there we have it, the new 2021 SONIC SABER. Enjoy, guys.